All right, so it's been an amazing season so far. It's been an honor to compete against all of you, to have you all as judges, to have Worcester as a tournament host. It's been awesome. It's been fun from the Ignatius tournament at the very start in October until now, and hopefully through Novice States next week. It'll be hopefully a very fun season. Thank you to the tournament, the TAB staff for hosting us, for being able to provide good judging, good pairings, just a smooth and a greatly functioning tournament. I'd like to thank my school, St. Ignatius High School, the administration, for supporting our policy program, supporting everything that we do, for allowing us to be able here. Thank you to Father Guyao, he's the president of our school. He actually last night was very helpful with him. Our only options, some of us are Catholics, so we don't eat meat on Fridays. So he gave us an absolution. He allowed us to eat meat on Fridays because the situation allowed it. So very big thank you to him. He saved us last night. Also, thank you to my family for supporting me, for supporting debate. They were probably the ones who started to push me into debate at first, and I'm very grateful that they've done so. It's been awesome so far, and next year I think will also be just as great. And they are probably one of the biggest people at the thing. They wake up at 5 a.m., drive me to Worcester and Wadsworth PDQs, drive an entire hour to do that. And it's been picking me up before award starts at certain tournaments. It was great. Thank you, and congrats to Jack and Lisa for reaching finals. Had an awesome season so far in the national circuit and in the Ohio tournament. Won a lot of rounds. Great opponents. It was just awesome and honor competing against you guys. Y'all are a great team, win or lose. Thanks to my coaches, especially Sean. Sean is a huge part of our preparation, as he always is. He helped us with this new affirmative. Thank you to Leo, who decided to come back. Leo, where are you? Oh, he's okay, Leo, thank you, Leo. It was really an honor. It was a blessing to have you as a coach, to have you come back to help our program. Thank you to Mr. Bizzelli for allowing us to come to these tournaments, for organizing, doing a lot of the behind the scenes work. Also, thank you to Matt Conway. He may not have been as involved as Sean and Leo, but he did definitely help. Thank you, teammates, all of you, Edwin, Noah, Michael B, Michael A, Jordan, and Josh Gordon. Y'all are awesome. Jordan and Josh Gordon, I want to shout y'all out especially. Probably one of the best freshman and sophomore seasons I've ever seen, to be honest, even though I haven't seen many freshman and sophomore seasons. They're up for, I think it's a high bar for future freshman and sophomore teams to beat. So, yeah. Also, thank you to the alums that came before me, Alex Spitzen, Don Lopron, Zach Gitzel, even Andrew Milos. It was awesome to have y'all. It was awesome. If you're watching this, it was awesome to have y'all as alums to help us coach and do all that, and help us in our novice years, my sophomore year. Also, thank you to Jack. Been an awesome partner. It's been great debating with you throughout this year. And, yeah, that's it. Do you want us this time? Two sheets of paper. Anyone y'all receive it? Oh, I didn't get it.
I did, yeah.
Okay. I just got signed. No, I'm not ready. Contention 1 is administrative burden. Social security requirements create immense barriers to individuals with disabilities. Even those who receive benefits are subjected to administrative burden that inflicts psychological violence, dehumanizes, and traps individuals in poverty. That's right, 622. For disabled people, barriers to safety, administrative burden, hospital harms, response to disabled people, making different economic basic decisions, food, medical, missing, the most marginalized people in society, disabled, they are administrative exclusion, exacerbating interest equality, disabled people twice as likely to live below the poverty line, reduce government spending, politics, disability, individuals, we doubt individuals should be the eligible systems of complicated only negotiations, stating that antiquity meaning for people with disabilities, individuals receiving ability to have education and career outcomes. Burdens about a lot of people from accessing their benefits, harms individuals in the short term, and poverty in the long term, harming the communities and the entire community's policymakers need to shift all burdens on participating in violence, trying to disqualify and discourage, reducing administrative burdens, creating more efficiency and improve trust, and more people with disabilities survive and thrive. Administrative burden is both serious harm to disabled people, just as expensive it is to be poor, it's expensive to be disabled, psychological costs are impacts of stress, stigma, lack of autonomy, compliance costs, time and energy and money. The spoon theory, each activity uses up spoon, burden to decide what little energy disabled people have, almost every time rejected the first time they apply. It's almost like they want to see you're serious about it. There's a mountain of exhausting, dehumanizing barrier. Experience these burdens every single time they apply, treating as if you're trying to rip them off. Many feel dehumanized. The default is they don't trust you. Society makes you feel like you're leeching. SSDI is a crucial lifeline. The only supportive source of income for nearly 2 in 5 beneficiaries. SSDI reduces the poverty rate among beneficiaries from 49.1% to 80.5%, showing to save lives. Reduction in the mortality. Just 1 in 3 or more applicants ultimately awarded benefits. Messy process is heavy administrative burdens, humiliating and frightening. SGA threshold makes it very hard for SSDI recipients to pull themselves out of poverty. The entire system is complicated, thus navigating rules, requirements, exceptions, knowing that any mistake will lead to losing your income, making benefits the conditional on unemployment devastating for many people, yet beneficiaries want to work. They have the ability to do so without having to lose their benefits. Current recipients forced to choose between a paycheck and benefits, as an opposed to significantly hardships on benefits. SSI recipients make it hard to accrue modest wealth. I don't get enough money to survive, let alone save a few dollars. Disability, convoluted, practically simplifying improvement or 50 millions of people. And these requirements operate through a eugenic framework that dehumanizes individuals with disabilities and produces social death. This physically manifests in poverty checks and condemns individuals to slow preventable death at 721. This will be experienced negatively by the legislation of the process of intellectual person that regulates and values species of those of the energies by like about the accessibility level to be taken in the ability to contribute to the labor market evaluation of exercise and the ISA to be the research that ability work that CDs but individual doctors is the very possible of poverty lines that the policy that was under pay more than disabilities and the lack of autonomy work is very typical disabled to know that they poverty of disability check for signature by the monthly notions for disability literature disability count allowing to biological psychological bills with longer time and country with lower economic use medical issue as they use over the detail of the disability participants people that way it's like very hard to get a people drop in poverty slowly kill people that way to social security there's not kill people take security like people all benefits as a part of the participants economic violence is to say disabled people that both teach improve disabled people's lives materials and to the benefit trap and the plan eliminates administrative burdens by expanding eligibility and benefits. That's right, 22. Requirements should be abolished, paperwork should be the opportunity, government should be replaced with work benefits that should help individuals engage in activity, best meet their decent culture, and education, reduce and reprocess minimum, education decrease awareness of benefits, agencies that have no deficiencies in place, eliminate violence 24 months waiting period for Medicare, government shut the applicants, doctors should not be forced to go through against the government, so not not specialized in their disability, applicants should be allowed to see their own boundaries, no studies needs to be consideration, applicants allowed to hear about community hiring more than background cases, laws, the IRC is regular, even if they are in the same eliminating of GEP, GA benefit, allowance and eliminate cop benefit temporarily, get second chance disability, Americans to basic support is outside that the federal government receives burdens. Thus, the plan, the United States federal government should substantially expand Social Security for individuals with disabilities in the United States. Contention 2 is framing. First is risk assessment 1. Our impacts come first. Disability conditions. The value of living in utilitarian logic excludes and targets disabled folk. That's Goldberg 18. Disabilities, disability awareness of like the facilities of the personality, counsel, like to make them part of the world, such as society, decision working able to also more like talking disabled, like what human disability, this is a solution to basically something for certain consider ways of living of the various social logic. And existential risk facts collapse ethics, creating a dangerous bias for actions and violent hierarchies that sacrifice urgent bodies, reject endless waiting in favor of recognizing the urgency of ongoing stopping. That's Olson 15. The body's able to do the same harmony for this and serving energy, the amount of the convention of the lizards, and environment, and the body's serving the energy, they are doing the violence of the world, the bias, and the knowledge management, these are the humble. Versus the people that suffering against research security for the hierarchy because we little amounts of money produce however you get a racial before disbelief so waiting so use nomination leader powers and already that depends on the recognition of how they corporate agency more deliberate normative research just by sociology vision detection of the sovereignty certification moral essentially is not knowledge about such a people and magnitude first logic of catastrophe is a rational theory of planning that gets co-opted and makes policy decisions impossible as cast on weight. Focus on dramatic terrorists, the leader, mentalist, probably because of the man himself, the liberty, counter, the value of one back there, pushes the leaders, straight down, and the logic, that you know, allowed to prevent them, how decision makers, the possibilities, like the permanent, the knowledge, system, possibility, possibilities, percent, rational, waiting for more absence of more than evidence, and the F outweighs existential risk decision theory and math theories that's targeting 19. Second, economic levels of possibility choices, the uncertain expectation relying on the cases of all payouts as any part of the especially for all the option care about the option that will any possible probability payouts and we compare a little of the likely amount of essential risk that any applications which is that we are not in the decision theories and we can mark this idea so we have to decline superiority as our risk content one is a background of certain trust and principles within our Pascal and like cables with certainty and expansion because life is improved each life improves also existential catastrophe the butterfly effect outweighs as Chimeric 17. There's a leap of linear there's seven lungs 8 so the Republican out of certain indirect personal organization, we can reduce our state of indirect means of person, or about. As well as ripple effects, the environment, science, doctor, network, brain, make all sorts of things, you have to develop or make a position rise. And I'll skip this nonsense evidence for now. And direct to the conjunctive fallacy for reducing the risk of this as Piatelli 96. One of them linked with the others can see possible with these figures, variance, having a bench shows the possible so we can reduce the power of an organization was usually that's not going to not going to say combination of probably as probably the last is human reinforcement illusion by chance sequencing. And DA start with a risk of less than 0.2%. That's Simpson 16. Figure before this is a representation of immunity observed the median value of your price of average of 0.2. And regardless, linear predictions are impossible with Hendrick 9. A probability does come out of the theory of models of one system of the theories of the world's models coupled against a regular and the moral stages are open and possible and most abilities can trace. This is linear discussed in much the same the doctors of possible classes different happens all these periods of historical classes of microinteraction until logical questions of complex and general difference. Second is war. Convergence of factors make air power war impossible. That's fat y 17. Nuclear weapons giving to the same air power was fighting with the world, so the world, the world, the same number as nuclear state modern integrated markets and the power of the same economic intervention, violence, and the state result in investments, the thesis, literature, democracies, and literature, the lines, they become the US degree, then to read the letter decline in the war above all, the way will be a economic process before glowing replacement with revolution. And nuclear war doesn't cause extinction, that's Laddish 920. The arms of war is no risk of extinction, but the destruction radiation will be concentrated follow over the chops of our here by the way, 90 direction and the electricity. Also, this is contribution models only no rest of the power of about 20 capable of about 7 factors, modern technology sources for bringing about the cooling, second to war player for program. I'll go back to the nonsense evidence that I skipped earlier. The existential risk community are academic frauds that promote dishonest scholarship. Rejected. That's nonsense 19. As a result of the recently behavior like considering such practices following my opinion elsewhere, about it, the ideas of the scholarly PhD, PhD, even years, actions, at least over a year, or on the top of the second, academic year, considering research. Instead research guidelines is building much about the value sciences that are going to be based in organizations, 1 million shares where each other by people and just power money to promote their ideas. One can also use up a saying that basically improve violence as well as the future of things over engineering compared to the future of searching including such as alibis outside dishonest self as degree power get them before dishonest self promotion. Boston CV thinks he lied. He said Boston CV says he had a national record. The university was not aware of such records. Charles. Yep.
How's the plan funded?
It is funded through the fiscal redistribution is through the payroll tax that Social Security comes with.
Payroll tax? Okay. Let's talk about the framing advantage. Confused as to why linear predictions are impossible.
Okay, so that is our Hendrick evidence. It says that linear predictions are impossible. It says it's not possible to risk, and the transboundary interactions, it reduces gradual explanations.
What does that mean?
What this basically means is that events all are an ongoing process, and it's basically unpredictable. And everything is pretty much radical.
Nuclear war, why would it not cause extinction?
So is that the Laddish or Fat Wise card?
Laddish.
So yeah, Laddish specifically cites that first off, that in the world there just simply aren't enough warheads to hit every single area where the humans are.
Okay, how does that account for things
It also
winter?
Okay, and then if you would let me get onto the other warrants, it also says that there is no risk of kinetic destruction as fallout and things like nuclear radiation would be dissipated by winds.
Okay.
And many countries would be relatively safe. It also cites
The
things like
Simpson
fallout.
card, DA start with a risk of less than 2%. Confused as to how it would apply to disadvantage. It just says like catastrophic risks.
So basically, the logic behind the Simpson evidence is from a researcher at the University of Barcelona, and he took basically all of the evidence of existential models that existed and the evidence that contributed it, and it assumes a risk. This is like all of the existential risk per year.
How does it assume new existential risks?
New existential risk, it's still the same probability because there was still a possibility of existential risks back when this math was calculated. It's still the risk of 0.2% per year, and we'll argue that this is a compound of all of them, so the fraction is smaller.
How does it apply to our dissets?
So conjunctive fallacy applies to your dissat. It's basically critiquing debate math. Basically, like in debate, we have the burden where dissats like start at 100, the risks start at 100 until it is basically knocked down. We're saying that it's not true because there's like a cognitive bias. Like if we say that like we're all gonna die tomorrow, like you're just gonna say, no, that's definitely not true. But then if we connect it with all these different internal link events that make it plausible, then we're like, well, maybe. We're basically like indicting that logic, and we're saying that this should start at zero until you
The
prove.
consent card talks about effective altruism should be rejected. How is this the neg?
We talk, this Knudsen card is
It's
talking about
explicitly effective altruism.
the existential, the scholarship behind the people that write about existential risks. It indicts their credibility.
Why are our authors
They
effective
all-
altruists?
Because basically the way the existential risks scholarship works, they all pretty much cite each other. It says there's no competing ideas and it was
Who
never
cites each
scientifically
other?
tested. Like pretty much most of the authors within the existential risk, like that group.
Sure. 6 minutes now.
Seconds. I'm sending it out now. It'll be 8 off based on the order of the one and C. I guess while everyone's ready, we'll do the thing this week. First, I guess I'll want to thank the OSDA for organizing tournaments all year round and also organizing this tournament. It's run so smoothly and all the rounds have actually gone really accordingly. I want to thank the entire Ohio circuit, the judges, the teams, the new teams, the people that have been around forever. I don't know what I would do without Ohio Circuit debate. If I had to just debate on the national circuit, it would probably be terrible because it is so different. But being able to debate in Ohio and being able to make friends with people that live close to me has changed my life, and I've genuinely learned so much from this event. And I will never forget what I've learned, and just the experiences and the people really make this amazing. I want to thank, I guess, thank Jack and Albert. We've debated multiple times, and it's so fun to have competitive debates, which is what I think makes debate so much fun and challenging and what we can learn from. I want to thank the Hawken administration, coaches, Kate, for coaching us, but also organizing trips and doing all the logistical work. I want to thank the Hawken team, past and present. You're really the reason why I'm going to practice. Why, at the end of the day, I do this to carry on my legacy, and teaching and passing that on is really the only thing that creates that legacy. And I really enjoy coming, especially with the novices, and I've honestly learned so much teaching. I want to thank my friends and family for supporting me emotionally and financially. I want to thank specifically Maya and Axel, because they've been with me and Jack from the beginning, and they really helped us along the way, and I love them so much. I want to thank, this is out of order. I want to thank the Michigan debate staff, Connor, Sheen, Bennett, Domchik for coaching us, and if I forget you, thank you so much. But last and most importantly, I want to thank Jack. I love and appreciate you so much, Jack. I cannot wish for a better partner. You pushed me to be the best debater I can possibly, but you also support me as a friend emotionally, more than just a debate partner, and I cannot be more thankful. And yeah, okay. Adolf, the one in C is, or is it non-law? Oh, that's Adolf, okay. Adolf, case.
I'm using your paper, so.
You need more papers, right?
No, I'm using Hawkins' paper, so more paper you use.
Okay, is anyone not ready? Okay. First up, growth is up. Strong spending now, low inflation stays up. Recession AB 229. Here's like the 20 growth, 2% economy. economy comments must be recession to keep inflation in the country, even if there's a job market remaining below the digits and the forecast to begin mid-July, and Social Security expansion destroys basic expansion, reduces investor confidence, and decimates overall growth for 2023. It decimates Social Security supplement numbers, damaging figure of the entire economy output, and reducing the economy by the SEC. The high marginal tax rates reducing the working by the economy, income earners reduce demands, the employees sector with higher rate taxes will reduce the wages of workers with the full burden of the payroll tax extinction. Chapter 20. Global economy geopolitics different with the opposite of where the pressure distributing the distribution of the power international confidence are expanding the economy, and Russian dominance cannot be taken for granted. China rapidly models in years. Bases are vulnerable. The East's ability to reject powers limited. The face exterior contradiction of China outlets affecting less likely to come by the better opportunities for confident increase that dismantle the recent within the cyber is happening in Europe, maybe with precision. That's off. Invocation of death and Max is never feeling an obsession with body count that ends extinction vote next rejected and endorsed by a few like November 21. Necrophilia is an obsession that results in that obsession with the district mechanisms and necrophilia method pathological causes. The war, hate, and destruction of the maternity of the necrophilia and the violence that govern like a robot. And extinction groups are bad. They force us to be reactionary. New acts our voters for badly skewed. Private millions are up. The 50 states relevance of national actors, including the National Governors Association, to suspend their cooperation in the administration of federal programs until the United States federal government expands for individuals with diseases in the United States, disabilities in the United States. The counterplans also results in federal adoption that expands uncooperative federals and will between the states and federal government to solve the states are not administering the federal government state activation with states level associated nation and welfare the United States. The federal government states superior states in the conjunction with the state and the federal government peoples are cooperative. The federal has authority to comply with uncooperative federalism solves extinction calls on date. Any political version of what resources, unless we agree that the failures of the governance, the separation, the unbalanced concentration from the people, the polarization, and the failures, the never lasting solution, the need, the returning power, like say so. Interfiscal redistribution distribution of income funded by progressive income taxes and charges back to the one. Redistribution policies then for fiscal policies, the fiscal policies of taxing the rich and the higher rate on the poor. In violation, they don't mandate an income tax for net for limits for the inter exclude the top and see any source of taxation that inflates after creating an advantage and discouraging the object of tax, not making this a vote for fairness with competition like sex up. 1ACs must use a 3-tier process. They violate academics from the personal experience or performance or of an organic intellectual or privilege for universally aid. A 3-tier process is going to violate the terms of the personal experience, organic and academic intellectual process comes based on perspective of privilege of powers of government practices, includes minors for policy and decision. Vote, net, expertise, and crowds at minority participation, prerequisite benefits. Research has 3 tiers ensure to distinguish precues politics rooted in the community of those affected next up. Pursuant to Article 5 of the Constitution, 2/3 of the state should call a limited constitutional convention, and 3/4 of the state should ratify a constitutional amendment that expands Social Security for individuals with disabilities in the United States, social solves and avoids politics at 18. Congo by the states writing amendments limited to specific use. Next up. Ukraine aid passing out overall support and society of business Bay 212. Chair of the IGC pushing the doctor overall in the House of Hawks are going to have every sure, but as a standalone, Social Security costs every ounce of PC Word 43. Although program is facing some issues, very worse benefits by cut by 20% like over the Congress level, the bipartisan and political party today exert every so political capital. Continued aid is key. Ukraine is pushing back now, but only guaranteed boxes for shot by Dark 3. Speed is of the essence. The wars have started during the use of the government use registry with their laws for Ukraine there, the upcoming sharing authorizing all the single foods. Russia's concept. U.S.-Russia war is the only extinction scenario compared to update. Nuclear being used in Russia segments will be the amateur cause of there's also an agriculture disruption. How possible to be extinction only 9% of the extinction next off. The United States federal judiciary all told that not implementing Social Security for individuals with disabilities in the United States is unconstitutional. It solves incomplete, compelling the redistribution schemes unravel the political question doctrine. Bill 12. The courts with differential enable the federal redistribution consent was the constitutional. The courts were restrained from the redistribution of the courts were facing political absence of transaction right from the economic regulation and from scrutiny was politics. Breaking PPD prevents a catastrophic nuclear accidents extinction over 10. Even to the interpretation loss and the originators versus successors of the other the states safeguards amending the humanity will charge futures that the plaintiff and the nuclear bombs that are in the content of the government hold the court avoid issuance the city judicial province on case. 1. The structure of state renders conjunction effect irrelevant under AL 18. Learning extinction can affect not only space learning they or the rather than large the connection to the reference uncertainty data words the effect of not the efficient they can see there for the verbal addiction artery causes the moment because when they hear they have psychological connection and ability to not see the opposite and just like more of the rule mission of the connection runs and policy interest hours such as the error on the experiment to expect the probability to apply from a singular connection on the whole is about simply lean. 2. Social Security fails. Studies prove no progressive redistribution Rebuttal 19. Social Security was redistribution except no impacting on not officially targeted and that's specifically towards behavior, policy analysis, and daily financial framing. 1. More statistically bad for people with disabilities, births, and February 16. Long-term consequences of Virginia call for the when the increase in the is more restricted hazard was ridiculous result in period of child functioning losses and hopefully increases in mental health, specialized secondary services, and prevention affecting people with disabilities, and also the lives are disrupted during the conflict periods, and conflict also have recovered the consequences, for example, with mental health access or decision, and post-natal emergency situations does not change during the conflict, prevents them of the entries of superstition, disability, and increased quality marginalization of disabled people. Infrastructure conflicts are the most limited infrastructure that is for disabled and the bipolar country, genetic group, and causes the Asian origin in Vietnam, nuclear testing, and something happens in Iraq. 2. Existential threats outweigh all life has infinite value, and extinction eliminates the possibility for future generations. GPP 17. Compare peace and war like a something report with 100% the difference between their much greater freedom and only the tiny fraction of the whole civilization. Existential chaos will be destroyed long flourishing that the larger by the existential chaos will give the future of the existential risk receive less existential rewarded as it's a good for the public good, the insurance villain. The existential risk was unprecedented economy by society people to underestimate the risk of another scope neck. 3. Linear predictions are good. None of their evidence assumes internal link chains. 4. Debate must center existential risk as key to civic engagement and academic research to combat crisis during force. 18. Experts as the universe of extinction of 1 in 10, the atomic lack of earth, 1 in 10 million years, and the academic bottlenecks on setting external risk of radiation and privacy communication. There's an urgent communication magnitude of external risks. And 1. Nuclear war guarantees extinction at 19. The several studies which use advanced models covering production of free cycles and nuclear prediction for human existential universe, nuclear war countries pose an existential threat. Jack, only another off.
Yeah.
2. Tornadoes. Nuclear war produces powerful intergravitational effects that generate atmospheres like tornadoes. Extinctions are 14. Near Moscow, nuclear war, non-calcium nuclear windows on the premise proper health atmospheres of self-capture windows by anti-gravitational effect power to the earth and become definitely parts even with severe undergravity will not see them. 3. Ozone von Weister 18. Less than 1% of the bulk is excluded being unlimited atmosphere. Those are the causes of the exchange of energy everywhere. So the first one from the US is a single afternoon. 4. Earth explosion travels in 3. The superworlds about the nutrient bombs in the face of the nutrient radiation, then the combat nutrient radiation, measuring the deepest forms of radiation, the left under reactor. Test that every second method of nuclear radiation, access to the accidents of theories, very realistic, nuclear weaponry is global view in the interior, may cause the entire planet to be the mosh. The United States Judiciary should issue a call for the views of the Solicitor General regarding economic redistribution. The Office of the Solicitor General should fight in favor of expanding social security for individuals with disabilities in the United States. The Government was the case by having the Supreme Court invite the legal view of the SG and then having the Office support legal modifications that follow on the Report 10. With Supreme Court the Royal Code and the SG services and my service funding the Ministry services the pardon and the SG because of enormous trust and court values opinions of the treatments and the ministry that she's the decision making SG justice is more efficient and necessary development before the final decision of the court. And final decision broadening the OSG's advocacy within the pre-established chain of command solves the erosion of law or treatment 21. Stops to imbalance the insuring companies who rule of law. Humans are not of the issues of controversies uses and unpredictability of some perception is a higher predictability statistics of the stories of insuring and assisting in public confidence.
Is the new law sent?
Yeah, we sent like this.
Okay, will we? I'll start processing.
It's sent.
Alright, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So onto first on your K, how do we link? Like what F reps do we have?
We'll go for it as a suffering reps link instead. Suffering representations are bad.
Where in your card does it say anything about suffering links?
Give me a sec, I don't have any.
It talks about the bureaucratic manner of like administering people as things and like looking specifically at finding violence as necrophilia.
So how do those two things interact with each other? How do they relate?
Like what do you mean, like how does that link to that?
Yeah.
Well, the 1AC has prescribed a solution, or has prescribed an issue of violence in the status quo, and the plans need to solve that. The critique says that it needs to attach to the violence and reproduces those structures because it's necrophilic.
Okay. So we need to reject the T, retier the T, new maps.
New
A-spec.
apps, A-spec, yeah.
New maps, A-spec, and then 2 T functions. Alright, cool. Yeah. So on the T feature, can you please explain this? Like what's the violation?
The violation is that you do not use a three-tier process. The Read and Brinkley card outlines why you have to use personal experience. Well, the 1AC has
Personal experiences from the people who are affected by this violence.
No, personal experiences from you.
Personal experiences from.
Like you must include your own
Yeah.
experience.
Or-
The reason why.
Yeah.
The reason why it's good, we say that absent, actually like engaging our own identities within like the debate space, and it's just distancing, which makes it impossible to actually generate like substantial things like movements and resolve the issues that like we claim to solve.
Alright, so how does kind of avoid politics?
By positioning the plan as a constitutional mandate, obviously it's not seen as a choice for Congress to pass a plan, but it's like, if you do not do the plan,
Alright,
you're
let me
unconstitutional.
rephrase. What are the paths for a constitutional amendment to be implemented?
2/3 of the states should call a limited constitutional convention, and 3/4 of the states must ratify that, which they counterclaim fiats.
Alright, so on your PQD counter plan, what test case did it rule on?
It's fiated, but we'll read evidence that says there are like, I don't know, like, I think the card says like 15,000 test cases that
Right, so I see, so on your impact card on this floor, I see that this card like mentions like NEPA at the very top. Where's the correlation? Or am I just
The
missing
Billmore evidence specifically talks about how NEPA has been eroded due to institutional capacity. Breaking the PQD would allow more like expansion of NEPA's powers to be able to respond back to nuclear threats.
Alright, so why is Social Security unpopular in Congress?
Are you talking about the politics they said like?
It's fine. Can you just like go through like the warrants for how nuclear war causes extinction?
Yeah, cool. So first, the Menon card talks about, I guess, nuclear winter. It outlines how a lot of scientific studies all come to consensus. Stark evidence talks about the effect that nuclear war would cause tornadoes. Also, effects of nuclear war or the detonation of a bomb would cause things like ozone depletion and Earth explosion.
Crap. Stop at 353.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. I'll send it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, well, let me, okay, yeah. I'll start with my thank you speech. So first off, like to thank Booster here for having us here, for hosting this. I personally haven't been here too many times to report. It's very nice, so thank you for hosting us. Thank you to the tournament and the TAB staff for having a great tournament. It's been very fun. This is very exciting final round, lead up here and eliminations. It's been tough. Had some eventful rounds. New arguments all around. It's very nice. Thank you to St. Ignatius High School administration for supporting the team. Shout out to Mr. Bazzelli getting me to join, running everything in debate, being a big advocate for the speech and debate program. Mrs. Gross as well, running speech and debate. Thank you all. Thank you to my family for supporting my debate career. Mainly to my dad, who always is mad at me for interrupting his television with my loud spreading from my room. Yeah, thank you for putting up with me. Thank you to all the judges, both on this panel and through all of those throughout the year, and for providing me, feedback and encouragement. I know that not all the judges are here right now, but they've all been extremely influential in my debate career and just being very, very impactful overall. Thank you to everyone on the Ohio circuit for the fun times and awesome season. Hugo, we've debated like 10 times over the course of barely 2 years. Thank you everyone for some great rounds. Thank you and congrats to Jack and Alicia here for making it all the way to finals and helping me to just do the best I can in these debates. Thank you to my coaches, Sean, Mr. Bazzelli for getting me in here, instead of having me join mock trial like I originally was, he got me in here. And to Leo for showing up out of nowhere and giving us a new app.
I thought Sean wrote the app.
Oh, my bad. Sean and Leo cooperatively for giving us the new app.
Resend the thank you.
Thank you to Albert for helping me very minimally in my 2ACs and having to do everything in the 1AR. No, thank you though, seriously. for just like helping me through the speech and everything. You do a lot of work and I very much appreciate it. And thank you to some previous seniors who have been extremely influential, mainly Bitson from last year, my novice year. He was a great guy. We all loved him on the circuit. Overall, I just really want to thank everyone who's helped me along here and wish everyone here good luck continuing the debate. Send out the doc now. Alright, the doc is officially should be in your boxes now.
We need the roadmap a couple times.
Oh yeah.
First one.
Okay. Yeah. First one. Alright, so we'll start with advantage 1, then advantage 2, then framing. Then moving on, we'll start with new AFs, then A-spec, then T income tax, then the 3 tiers argument.
Can you?
Yeah. Alright.
Let's start with after framing.
After framing, okay. Okay.
I go slower.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
also we're labeling things different than what I labeled them, so now I
Okay.
have to figure that out.
Yeah, alright. So at the top will be new apps theory.
Okay, 5 seconds while I find that.
Okay.
Okay,
Then A-spec.
okay.
Then T income tax.
Cool.
Then the 3 tiers argument. That's a procedural, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the doc's going to go in a bit of an order. I'm going to skip the K. I'm going to go. Yeah. Or no, we'll keep the. Next will be their K. then uncooperative federalism, then political question doctrine of the court's counterplan.
Wait, sorry, reports of the academic law.
Yes.
Was that the 8th or 9th octave?
Is that the first court's counterplan or the second court's
The
counterplan?
first one, probably.
Is it? I mean,
Sorry.
okay. It is now.
All right.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Then constitutional convention. Then the Solicitor General counterplan. Then economy disadvantage. Then Ukraine disadvantage.
So, slight issue. I put theory on the bottom of some of the other options, so just tell me what theory you're going to. I will take it.
Okay.
Should we put all of them on the first T-flow? We'll just do that.
Put all of them on first people?
Or
No. I don't think that would help me.
Yeah.
Could we go over the order of the theory? I
I might just make a theory quote and we'll post it there.
Let's just put all theory on the T-flow.
If you put a separate sheet, it's for theory that way.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna do another flow for theory.
Sure, that
Okay.
works. Yeah, so that
Separate from T.
okay.
Okay.
Is that gonna work for you?
Yeah, I just gotta undo what I just did.
Okay. So where would you like this massive theory flow to
We'll put that at the top.
The very top?
Before case.
go?
No,
Before T?
but just before T.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna get very confusing.
That's
Even I'm confused.
That's what we like to hear before you start speaking. How bad will this speech be?
Hopefully, I think we'll be pretty good. Okay.
Sorry, hold on. Good night.
We were good, so.
Everybody needs that, honestly.
All right. That's in right order. Is anyone not ready? All right, in that case, we'll begin. No, on Advantage 1, Social Security policy imposes administrative burdens on disabled through erroneous eligibility requirements, including government-sanctioned medical exams, employment history going back decades, benefit lists, and a burdensome application process taking years where they don't even get their benefits. That's 1 EC Schweitzer. There's 2 impacts to this outlined by 7. First off, social death that causes symbolic violence. That disabled folk are rendered socially dead. They're stigmatized and treated as if they're ripping up the system, indeed unproductive. That denies their humanity. And material violence that's rooted in eugenics logic. Millions can't receive the basic needs like food, housing, medical treatment. That causes preventable deaths. Those who get benefits experience the psychological violence and slow death through poverty traps and long wait times, ensuring that they don't get anything. That requires forcing disabled folk to choose between a paycheck and benefits. That causes them to live 300% below the poverty line. That's 7. The plan solves. It expands eligibility by eliminating administrative burdens. That mandates that admins trust applicants' own doctors and substantially increases agency and funding and staffing to solve backlogs. Their generic Social Security can't redistribute fails to account for the actual effectiveness in the panel studies where disabled folk actually advocated for this for their effects. I'll go on to framing now. First off, I'll start with our cohort card. The war doesn't turn this. We outweigh on time frame. Our impacts are happening right now. You're going to weigh probability first. And value to life is a prerequisite to all the value of their impacts. Life now being worth living is what makes their impacts bad. That's our Kohlberg evidence that disabled people are currently being devalued and their value to life is not being materialized. So therefore, that their actual existential risks are actually they have zero value until we restore the value to life. And their GPP evidence links to our bad scholarship contention that if you open their leadership, it cites the authors of Orden and other existential risk circles, and that to default to P. Telley, we have the biggest cognitive bias in addition to our Kessler evidence. And their internal link arguments aren't responsive. All our arguments about how you should assess those internal links. The scenario starts with low risk. That's also our Simpson evidence. And there's no warrants. They need to defend the risk assessment model and the burden of drug. It's bad math and irresponsible to assume that their scenarios start with a very high risk. That's our Simpson evidence again. It's kept at 0.2% there. And we need to have debate about structural violence. It's the best adaptation to prefer our evidence here. And group all their warrants, extend fat lines, and lavish on why war won't happen. It indexes the possibility of nuclear war, and lavish specifically disproves all the warrants. In addition, they drop their probability of dissent. It's very low. Okay, so you can also extend all of our other warrants like Tarnacy that their expected utility model gets it wrong because they can't differentiate between different probabilities, and that conjunctive fallacy debate doesn't account for it because it takes time to learn over time, which means all of our, and you can also extend Hendrick that linear predictions fail. The models are way too complex. On to A-spec now, on the theory flow. First off, we need even our plain text was unclear. We would have gladly clarified in cross-links. We reserve the right to clarify. And limits our interpretation gives the round real world opinions. I did say that. That's the best for topic knowledge overall, and I'll move on to their new apps argument. Counter-interpretation. We should be able to read new topical apps and not disclose them. That's best for education. New arguments are essential to improve understanding of topic and skills to think critically in its most real world. It's fast out there, and policymakers don't or can't take away, disclose their proposal until the last second, or just bring it up randomly in congressional sessions. I'll move on to T income tax. First off, we meet fiscal redistributions, tax and transfers. They only find redistribution. That's less than Higgins 18. Fiscal redistribution requires stakeholders to protect revenues on benefits. State also spends a good while spending and redistribution effects. Those are spending and not considering QE. That means that fiscal part of fiscal redistribution is important. Tax and transfers and payroll tax is a type of key tax and limits. New taxes doesn't explode limits. Still check by areas that have base of tax and ground. Different taxes take away key innovation, and they don't include payroll tax, which takes away a third of our ground on Affirmative. I'll move on to 3 tiers now. First off, we meet the direction of resolving mediated through the 1AC that requiring one line is reductive, and AFs must defend resolutional action. You can resolve the debate based on whether negative proposed AF is worse than status quo, grounded in arguments, not speakers. Resolve before the colon denotates a formal resolution. That's AOS 4. Colon introduces a formal resolution result. And there's 3 net benefits. The clash, abstraction rewards argumentum, and erases particular research that cultivates in horrible humanity aggravated rigor. That turns our solvency because opponents are better trained. And it's fairness, debates a game, strategy over redeems pedagogy because it's not the only incentive. And their violations are logical. The 1AC was embodied. The 1AC was embodied and impossible to say what was. I'll move on to the next flow. First off on the K, the role of the judge is to determine whether fiat implications of the plan are desirable when compared to competitive alternative. We get to weigh the AF regardless of prior questions. K is responsible for solvency uniqueness and only gets anything else kills fairness and clash which are independent since it makes a game, which makes it competitive sentence for research unique. Alright, and the all can't solve. We don't do death threats and no explanation of how it solves and no link. We don't advocate on death threats. In case of which we fact that most people in cause harm, their suffering doesn't really make sense in the context of what they read. And on UCF, first off, Purdue both, Purdue the count plan, Judas advisory, it also equals out. That's recommend 16. Only least authoritative sources more unless the Supreme Court employs should not impaired obligation no more than non-should aspire the plain text not amending. They must be textually and factually competitive. Maximizes comparison, background, and objectivity. And the delay and uncertainty causes active harm to disabled folk. It's weaponized in social security to instill bureaucratic fear and fear of administrative burdens. That fuels slow death, and their CPU's proportional tweaks to the plan are distinct strategy that avoids justice. That's a Mills and Print 23. The bureaucratized fear directly designating social security, concentrating on war, disabled people for destruction, second time becomes a weapon, who claim to have powers, people show them where times important and weapon, deteriorate presence, severity, violence, policy of work, and distant effect from the social death is a matter of delays weaponized by the government, used as statistics to try to avoid accountability, and the just as weaponized the delay makes harm appreciated. And I'll move on to the PQD counterplan of the courts. First off, Prum do both, and Prum do the counterplan, and Prum do the F and CP in another area. No reason our plan is key to benefit and solvency. You get cross-apply or certainty and delay card from Prim that it still applies to. There would be a massive delay in the court case. I'll move on to Constitutional Convention, and Prum do both, and Prum do the counterplan. It's another way the plan can be done. And Prum do the plan when the amendments are ratified, not intrinsic, since the CP is adds a delay. That's KISM 5. Ratification time is under 27 are not proposed until 203 years later. Length of amendment plans on gravity issue and intensity of public center. That means you can cross-apply the certainty delay deficit here as well. I'd say completely like. And on the Solicitor General, Prum do both, and Prum do the counterplan. Cross-appliers show definition here and also on uncertainty and delayed benefits. It links equally as well, as it's a massive consultation process there. And also, conditionality is a voter for fairness and education and forces us to make out of round completely and massive impacts and it creates time and strategy that is completely unfairly affirmative. I'll go into the econ dis tab. You can cross-apply apply our Pietel evidence that the conjunctive fallacy makes you believe that these sets are way more probable than they are. This also applies to Ukraine as if I supposedly drop them, then they would be weighted 100% when it should be held to the burden of proof, not the burden of rejoinder. I'll go on the econ. Recession's inevitable. There's federal rate hikes that soar 227. Our length of recession inevitable. Severe risk facing U.S. pattern saying conflict in interest rates and cumulative impacts of borrowing time hikes in 2001 trends of stress are beginning to show and inflation rising. You can also apply the conjunctive fallacy here as they don't explain their internal link at all. They just say, oh, we collapse that Social Security can possibly collapse the economy, but they do horrible and how the Social Security would lead to a big enough impact to actually deteriorate some amount of the economic capacity and then also continue to break down anything else that would lead to a nuclear war. And you can also extend our FedWise and Ladder's evidence that nuclear war is inherently not going to happen because of the international economic independence and democratic peace theory, and also because there's not enough warheads to go around. And I'll go into Ukraine now. The plan costs 0 PC. Current congressional efforts are a turning point. That's Act 23. We have troops shot at by person, social security by person, group center leading effort to strengthen the program. Current AIDS and characters have been a turning point that center developing concern.
Skip to Thizen.
And I'll skip to Thizen. Any Ukraine funding states U.S. There are total links in down, but that's Thizen 1129. U.S. military to Ukraine and money spent in the United States fund are going directly to Ukraine, 9% going to America, legally refunding state Ukraine for taking more union may take for copy of 31 centers who ran report the restricted 170 production lines in near 31 states where workers are producing major weapons. Mark after